welcome back to another episode. I am live on the Orange County hipster capital. Take a look. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm just so honored that you're here again, and I'm so excited for this topic today. It was inspired by my dear grandmother. So Grandma, this one's for you. She was talking to me the other day about denial and how much that plays a role into deciding to get treatment or not. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. Obviously, please, first and foremost, probably the most important thing literally ever is to like, share, comment, subscribe, tag me in your guys' Instagram, Facebook post, all the things to help this channel grow. Help me. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go into my room because this topic is pretty personal, pretty vulnerable. So I'm letting you guys in a little bit today about kind of how I decided to get help and how I started to recognize the severity of my eating disorder and how I learned to validate myself. So it's gonna be a bit of an intense episode. Hope you guys are ready. I think this is really important for everybody to realize how long it took me to decide to get help, because it's one thing to know that you have a problem. It's a whole other thing to accept the fact and believe that you need help and going after that. And here we go. All right, so let's go into my room now. Turn off the fan, save that electricity because your girl is paying for it. All right, we're in my room. Turn the light on. Ooh, bright. And I'll turn on my lights over there. Hey Alexa, turn lights on. Ah. Magic. Look at that. Wow, technology these days. Oi, what you gonna do? Oh nuts, I forgot something. Be right back. Need this to connect my computer so I can connect it to the light. I'll show you. Oh, hello there. Do. All right, so this is how I connect the light to this thing. So you just plug it in. I feel like I'm doing a tutorial right now. All right, it's connected. Let's get the light on. Power. Ah! All right, so I'm settled in and ready to go. Got my decaf iced coffee because it's the afternoon. I like to have a little bit of a coffee taste, I guess. And I can't have caffeine this late in the afternoon, so it's a decaf. Okay. So let's get to it. To the topic I wanted to discuss, which is how I decided it was time to get help for my eating disorder. I'm gonna let you all in a little secret. I knew for a pretty long time that I had an eating disorder. I distinctly remember freshman year of college, I was walking to the dining hall with my friends and I was telling them about having an eating disorder and kind of my relationship with food. And I had some other talks with just individual teammates. I remember being like, I have the problem. I'm not willing to fix it. I wasn't willing to fix it because I was so proud of my sick body. I was proud that I was finally thin, I guess. I was scared that addressing my eating disorder and getting help would change my body too much. I was on the cross country and track teams at my school. I was having a lot of success there, and I was scared that eating more and changing my body would ruin the success that I had. So I was like, yeah, problem, I see you. No, I'm not gonna fix you. And like most humans do, I fear change. I fear change so much. I feared any disruption to my life, and my eating disorder brought me control and consistency. I did not want to change that at all. The way my neural pathways are wired, I feared change, and I feared the lack of perfection more than most. I feared food, and I knew that my eating disorder helped me manage my anxiety. It was a coping mechanism, and I was like, we're good, we're homies, you're helping me, and I'm just gonna keep you around. And I saw myself succeeding in school and in sports, so I was like, my eating disorder is bringing me this success, so why would I want to change it? Please. I didn't deny my eating disorder. I invalidated it, and I feared how my life would be without it. And I feared what my life would look like without that sense of control. I invalidated my eating disorder because I was like, well, I eat, so I'm not like not eating. So like, I don't have an eating disorder. I'm fine. Even though food and eating and foods I deemed as unhealthy would give me such severe anxiety, and it would just kill me the rest of the day just to think about that, and I would just ruminate on everything. And I didn't see that as a problem though, because I was like, yo girl is eating. Everybody who knew me was like, you eat so healthy, I wish I could eat like you. Guys, you do not wish you ate like me, trust me, because I wasn't eating, I was scared of food. You didn't want it. And they still saw it as healthy eating, so I was like, they see it as a healthy eating, I don't have a problem, I don't have an eating disorder. Oh, hindsight, like I said before, is always 20/20. I never saw my body as emaciated. I didn't see the toxicity that my eating disorder brought into my life either. I always saw myself occupying a body that could have been smaller. So I was looking at old pictures the other night, which is a bad rabbit hole to go down into. Sorry, judgment. It's not a rabbit hole I want to go into anymore. I just wanted to look at them from a recovery-minded perspective. My heart broke a little bit for the way I used to look. My body looked so unhealthy, and I never saw that ever. I always saw it as a body that wasn't good enough, as something I could keep working on to make smaller. I really did want to be smaller and to weigh less. And looking back on it, I think that doing that would have cost me my life. Right now, I just want to go back and tell my old self that my body was doing a fantastic job of being in survival mode and keeping me alive. And ultimately, my body was sick enough. It was deserving of treatment. I did have an eating disorder that deserved the kind of attention in recovery that it deserved. It was deserving of all of that, and love and care. So my old self, I tell you that. So full disclosure, I feel a lot of shame for having an eating disorder. I feel shame for letting societal pressures get to me, and for wanting to be skinny like the movie stars. I mean, the media and the movies portrayed women and girls as skinny and being successful because they didn't eat carbs or they didn't eat lunch. Like last week when I was watching The Kissing Booth, it was a good movie and I am a proud lover of it, okay? I loved it. Anyways, the popular girls, they walked into the cafeteria. They literally only had bananas for lunch. Bananas are not lunch. And I can see how it's easy to internalize that and be like, whoa, the popular girls don't eat and I want to eat a banana just like them and I'll be cool and I'll be successful. I internalize that message. I think back in my day, eating disorders were kind of romanticized and they were popular. Like the models, they'd be like, yeah, they all have eating disorders. It's like, but cool, they're models, they're on magazines. I want that. So I internalized that message of eating nothing would make you popular and successful. I know that my eating disorder was a coping mechanism for my anxiety and to maintain perfection. And it was a way to kind of quell my self-doubt. I still feel shame about that. I feel shame for the way I treated my family. I feel shame that my family had to work around my eating disorder. And I was inflexible. I wouldn't change. My eating disorder was my priority and they had to live with it. I feel shame that I brought anger to pretty much every family outing because it gave me a lot of anxiety, and the only way I knew how to cope with that was to lash out and not eat. So family, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making our lives center around me. I'm sorry for my angry outbursts. I'm sorry for the secrets that I kept. Even through all of that, you guys loved and supported me. And I love you guys more than you'll ever know. I know I don't always do a great job of showing it. I just want you to know that your support gives me the strength I need to go after my goals. And so since this is titled How I Decided to Change My Life, I'll tell you guys that I decided to change my life because it was about freaking time. No, it's because I saw the toxicity that was in my eating disorder relationship. I wrote a blog post called How My Eating Disorder Turned Into a Toxic Relationship. It's linked down below, so go check it out because it's awesome. I talked about how, actually I'm going to read a portion of it, and FYI, I named my eating disorder Chad because I wanted to personify it a bit to make it seem and be more like a toxic relationship, which it was. So I'm going to pull out my computer, so I'm going to read from it, just the end. So I was talking about how I started to see Chad controlling me. And this is where I pick up. It wasn't until October of 2019 when I really started to fight against his control. Now, this wasn't really my own doing. My mom pushed me to go see a therapist to talk about Chad and our issues. I was hesitant at first, but I finally relented. I did see the toxicity and had a desire to fix us. To be honest, the therapist wasn't too helpful. She merely brought up our issues, but she didn't provide a way to overcome them. I continued to stay with Chad, not because I loved him, but because I was scared of what would happen if I left him. Chad and I continued our relationship, but there was a lot of tension. He could feel me pulling away and tried so hard to make me stay. The spark was gone, but the control was rampant. Gone was our sex life, and gone was our open communication. All that was left was our pernicious routine. Finally, in February 2020, I decided to break up with Chad. I felt so miserable, alone, and out of love with Chad that I truly saw no more reason to stay with him. The writing was on the wall for a while. I just refused to read it. Yes, some days are super hard, and my gut aches for missing him so much. Some days I just want to run like we used to in order to remind myself of all the good times we spent together. Other days I yearn to eat the meals we used to share. At the end of the day though, My life is so much better without him. I'm learning to love myself without Chad's influence, and maybe someday I'll fall in love with someone else. For now, I have an 8-year relationship to recover from. The story of Chad and Karina is over, and now it's time to start my own life worth living. So, like I said, it's linked down below if you want to read the full story. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. Writing this it brought me a lot of emotions and like stuff I haven't known how to articulate. And I just want you guys to know that it's really, really hard to decide to get treatment for anything, for an eating disorder, for drug abuse, for alcoholism. It's a part of your life. It's all you know how to do. It's what you know brings you joy and control. And to every person in any type of recovery, you all are fantastic. What you're doing is amazing work. It's strong. It brings you a whole new life to live. And I am proud of all of you who have decided to take that step. And I'm so proud of the families and the friends and loved ones who support those who are going through recovery. I literally couldn't have done it without my support system. Recovery is a toughie. It's a real toughie. And I'm really just trying to bring light of how much someone can know that they have a problem and still be unwilling to get the help they need. Your brain is programmed to think that way. And the work it takes to rewire all of that and to develop new habits, it takes so long. It's okay to fear the change that will come. It's just some awesome change that will happen. So, that's it. Oh yeah, my feet are falling asleep. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But I really just wanted to shed some light on how truly difficult it is to decide to get help, to decide that you are deserving of treatment. I just wanted to shed some light on that and to validate how hard the process is and how hard it is to take the plunge to get help and to change your life, because it is scary and it's amazing on the other side. And yes, there's constantly ups and downs, and some days are better than others, and that's completely okay. You can't have a perfect recovery. That's not the way life works. And that's all I have for today. Thank you all for joining me again. I'm happy that you are here. Please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, connect with me on socials. I would love that. And I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. Wear a mask. Do voting. Make sure you guys vote. Early voting, mail-in voting. Go to the polling places. Make sure to vote. And that's all I have to say about that. So, goodbye.